We're here at the Asta at Riverwalk, and I'm having the red fish tacos,
Yes.
and you're having the calamari.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Guys are from
Nice outdoor place. We're right here by the clock tower, and there's a little bridge here.
Maybe this is why.
We're right here, and I'm gonna keep following this around. What an amazing place. Again, this is the Riverwalk in San Antonio.
not a good idea at all.
San Antonio Police Department. Be a full job. Just so many dining choices right here. I think that's the old brewery.
What is that? No, I usually when that
So you can do these tours on these little pontoon boats. Might have to do one later. This looks pretty cool. You get the history of the area. Looks like a lot of fun.
Let me share a little love story with you because I see the way you've been looking at your significant other there beside you. You've had a chance to look at the whole Riverwalk and you've just been staring at her.
So we're here at the Alamo in San Antonio, Texas. I did the self-guided tour, so they give you this little device, and it's got the different corresponding numbers here, and we'll see how it goes. We're doing some construction here. So they're fixing up this older building here, gutting it out, and rebuilding it. That's pretty cool. Same thing next door. Now they say the Alamo is much, much larger. So what you see here today is just a fraction. It was a huge mission. And maybe we'll go visit this walk through here that talks about the mission. Here's a statue of Jim Bowie, famous for the Bowie knife. Mission San Antonio de Valero. So by 1900, this is how it looked. This is 1744.
Number 6.
The Spanish mission.
I think I
So some of the stuff here they're talking about reconstruction of what it looked like. Cannons are cool. There's the main church area here, but as you can see, this thing is pretty significant size. They put cannons on this area. Six-pounder cannon. These are reproductions of them. Statue of David Crockett. That looks like a long line getting into the church area, but I got plenty of time. This is inside the main church area. Waiting for the museum. That's what it would have looked like when it was.
Flower pot right there, right here. Old Shapeland is right here. Band underneath the ceiling, right here. Okay. Okay. Then the lower band back here behind the plexiglass.
Yeah, it says 1837. Really? Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We'll check out the map here.
Tennessee. I have there's a good friend who's also well, we're getting our first Portillo's in San Antonio.
Museum and gift shop. So they have an interesting timeline here, starting from 1760 when I guess the mission was first created, all the way down to current times. So it was here a long time before even the battle. They were certainly outnumbered. From some of the information I was looking at, maybe 257, 260 volunteers, Texans, Kentuckians, up against 1,500 regular Mexican military. Tree in a while.
Covered by the promised large land grants. But in a mere 5 years, the population grows from about 3,000 to more than 30,000. Soon, 2 populations emerge in Texas. Native-born Mexican Texans called Tejanos and naturalized American Texans called Texians. But an ongoing fight between 2 Mexican political factions will soon test the loyalty of both Texians and Tejanos to Mexico. In 1824, Mexico adopts a new federalist constitution that allows states to share power with the national government. Texas favors this constitution because it grants them a greater degree of autonomy. But in 1834, the president of Mexico, Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, rejects power sharing and imposes a new centralist constitution, stripping Texas and other regions of power. Federalists throughout Mexico rebel against this decision and demand a return to the federal constitution of 1824. Santa Anna, calling himself the Napoleon of the West, moves quickly and forcefully to crack down on the uprising.
Expecting anything? You're stupid. What is that? The from
Right now
right
we're
there to
doing
the
this area right now in this building.
yeah. That's pretty cool.
He will show no mercy. The rebels send back a message of their own. They will stand and fight. One of the 2 rebel commanders is James Bowie, a land speculator and legendary knife fighter who married into one of the most powerful Mexican families in Bayard. Bowie is famous already for the knife that bears his family's name.
Attention, company! Shoulder, arms!
The other commander is South Carolinian William B. Travis,
Present, arms!
a 26-year-old lawyer and cavalry officer known to be a natural leader.
Colonel Travis, company is formed for parade. Thank you, sir.
Bowie and Travis agree to join command, but in a twist of fate, Bowie falls gravely ill and is confined to his bed. Travis now has full command. Outnumbered and surrounded by thousands of Mexican soldiers, the rebels desperately hope they'll be able to hold off Santa Anna until reinforcements arrive. Soon after the siege begins, Travis writes a series of letters, desperate pleas for reinforcements. One is addressed to the people of Texas and all Americans in the world. He signs it, victory or death. Couriers, risking their lives, slip past Mexican lines and deliver letters to Texan colonists in nearby Gonzales and Coconut, and more settlements to the east. Soon, Texans everywhere know of Travis's desperate stand at the Alamo. Troops rush to assemble, but are unable to arrive in time. In Goliad, troops head to the Alamo, only to turn back when they learn that another Mexican column is coming for Goliad too. Eventually, 32 men from the town of Gonzales, 75 miles away, 1836, 8 days into the siege. But even with these new men, the defenders of the Alamo, the rebels rushed the walls and fire into the darkness, manning their stations. On the north wall, Travis is one of the first defenders to die, with a single gunshot to the head. As Santa Anna's forces push in, many of the rebels fall back to the Long Barrack, then to the church. Some defenders make it outside the walls, but one by one, they are cut down in bloody hand-to-hand combat. Bowie dies in his sickbed, bayoneted by Mexican soldiers. The battle only lasts about 90 minutes. True to his word, Santa Anna shows no mercy. He executes all surviving defenders, but spares the women, children, and Travis's slave Joe, who he allows to leave unharmed to tell the story of what happened. Crockett too dies in the battle. Although accounts differ on what happened, one eyewitness states that he is captured alive and then executed, while Joe later recounts that Crockett died fighting like a tiger. Some 500 Mexican soldiers are killed or wounded, compared to the 200 or so rebels who lose their lives. Santa Anna denies the defenders a proper burial. He scorns them as pirates and orders the bodies burned. What the defenders of the Alamo didn't know was that during the siege, a convention gathered at Washington on the Brazos had officially declared Texas's independence from Mexico. At the head of Texas's military forces is Major General Sam Houston, a former governor of Tennessee and protege of Andrew Jackson. Houston arrives at Gonzales on March 11th to find 350 men gathered there, ready to march to the Alamo's aid. But they are too late. Wanting to stay ahead of the Mexican advance, Houston withdraws eastward. Terrified civilians, afraid of being left behind, follow in his wake in what is known as the Runaway Scrape. On April 21st, 1836, Houston turns and engages Santa Anna at his encampment on the San Jacinto River. As they charge into battle, Houston cries out the words that still resonate today: "Remember the Alamo." Houston's army kills more than 600 Mexican troops and captures Santa Anna himself. Astonishingly, only 9 Texans die. The captured President General is forced to recognize the Republic of Texas in exchange for his life. The Republic of Texas is born. The Long Barrack is converted into a storage depot for military supplies at the start of the Mexican War. After the war's end, by 1850, the U.S. Army uses the church as a warehouse, and the Alamo becomes a vital army hub. A roof is added to the church, along with a bell-shaped gable.
Based on that movie, the main structure that's still here today was sort of where the battle ended. Pretty bloody hand-to-hand combat. We're in the museum where you can see artifacts from the areas. Fiddle's Bowl. was used here at the Alamo. Green revolver.
Of Colonel Travis. Mounted here were 3 cannons, all firing north. The wall continued eastwards past the remains of the Reyes house. From the northeast corner of the compound it ran south, along a group of huts called jacales, and ended in a small gate opening to the east. Beyond the gate was the mission's large granary, previously used for storing foodstuffs. In 1836 it was converted into the long barracks for housing soldiers. The Sanchez Navarro map described trenches dug lengthwise inside the building to aid the defenders' last-ditch stand. At the southern end of the long barracks was the 2-story convento, which had housed priests during the mission period. By 1836, the lower rooms were used as an arsenal to house many of the fort's weapons, while the upstairs level served as a hospital. The convento courtyard was divided into 2 portions, one which contained the main well for the Alamo, and a smaller area which contained the fort's latrines. A small cannon was placed in the northeastern corner. South of the convento, in front of the mission church, was the southern courtyard. The palisade extended from the corner of the church to the low barracks with a centrally placed cannon. This was the area defended by David Crocker and his Tennessee volunteers. A ditch was dug outside the palisade, beyond which felled trees were dragged and stacked together to form an abartine. This device hindered direct attack of the palisade, forcing the enemy to negotiate a tangle of tree branches, while leaving them vulnerable to the Tennessee sharpshooters. The church itself was mostly roofless. Inside, a long earthen ramp led to a gun position on the back wall, called El Fortín de Cos. 3 cannons were placed here, all firing to the east. The church's inner rooms were considered the safest, and therefore provided sanctuary for the women and children during the battle. After 13 days of siege warfare and relentless shelling, the Mexican troops were assembled for the main attack early on the morning of March 6, 1836. General Santa Anna ordered his assault troops to form 4 columns. Grenadier and scouting, or cazadores companies, were supplied with 6 rounds of ammunition per man. The line companies were only issued 4. Each man was given 2 extra flints for his musket. At about 5 a.m., the order was given to advance. The 4th column of cazadores moved forward, some soldiers taking refuge behind the Charlies. Many of the men carried scaling ladders. After days of little or no sleep at all, most of the defenders were resting. The night had been a quiet one. Once the Texans realized that they were under attack from the south, they scrambled to their feet, grabbed their weapons, and opened fire on the enemy. The 1st and 2nd columns attacked the defenders on the north wall. The assault was repulsed with heavy casualties, but was quickly renewed. The 3rd column attacked from the northeast. Because of the heavy opposition and little success, the 3rd column shifted its assault to join the 1st and 2nd columns outside the north wall. The combined forces called for additional support, and Santa Anna's reserves joined them for that final assault. The Mexican troops eventually secured a foothold on the dilapidated north wall. Breaking through the weakened area, they crawled over the bodies of their dead and wounded comrades and poured into the Alamo complex. It was here, at El Fortín de Terán, that Travis fell. Meanwhile, at the south wall, the 4th column was able to scale the wall and break through an area west of the low barracks. Realizing that they had lost control of the quadrangle, the defenders took refuge in many of the buildings, including the long barracks and convento. Here, heavy fighting developed, and the Mexicans turned the Texan cannons to blast down the various doors. But in doing so, they killed many of their own men in the confused and smoke-filled early morning. The long barracks was the scene of some of the most vicious hand-to-hand combat. making good Santa Anna's promise that no one will be spared. The Mexican soldiers hunted down and killed every defender. This extended to James Bowie, whose dead body was found in his small room in the low barracks, and to the wounded, who continued to resist when the Mexican troops entered the hospital. Atop the convento, the Texan flag continued to fly, and a number of Mexican troops were killed trying to remove it. Finally, Lieutenant Jose Maria Torres charged the position, took down the defender's flag and replaced it with his unit's colors. He was then struck down by a Texan. Lieutenant Torres is one of the many Mexican heroes that died that day. One of the last areas to fall was the palisade in front of the church. Here, after close hand-to-hand fighting, Crockett and his volunteers were overrun. Crockett may well have died here, although this will be forever debated among historians. With the last defenders killed, only the women, children and slaves who had taken refuge in the sacristy were spared.
There's no Bowie knife right there. It's pretty cool.
No way. No, like,
These are the musket. Well, there's going to be at 11:30. There's going to be a musket shooting. What's a musket? 11:30. When you see that long rod right there. Well, I think that's the color. Yeah, but I was already on the
Types of shotgun cannons. The different size cannonballs. The museum collection is really interesting. If you're into weapons and historical artifacts. I paid, I think it was the $25 entrance fee where you get the little device where you can listen to different things, and it also pays for the entrance here. That's with the surgeon's equipment, amputations,
Are you running?
So they got Living History, which is behind the main building. Cool statues over here. So this is the Riverwalk in San Antonio, Texas. Now this started in the 1920s. There was flooding through the downtown area, and an architect, Robert Huggeman, came up with a way to do flood control while at the same time making it like a very nice urban park. And the construction went throughout the 1930s, and then of course it was stopped during World War II. But then it started back up in the late 40s and 50s, and it's become a major tourist attraction here in the state of Texas. And it's just really nice down here. And this is one of the boats where you can do tour rides on. And let's see if I can film this over here. We've got yellow-crowned night herons, multiple of them. See if I can get this right here. We got one right there just hanging out. Again, that's a yellow-crowned night heron. One of the tour boats coming through. Just a real fun atmosphere here. I guess we're seeing which boat's the loudest. We got another one coming down the river. And today it's mid-March of 2025, and this is a Monday night, so it's happening every day at all different hours. It's about 70 degrees right now. And it's about 7:30 at night. We're staying here at the Holiday Inn, and we've got a balcony. A nice room. Nice size balcony here, 2 chairs, table. We're on the 5th floor.